Hi guys, welcome to Arts Money Talk. Today we have an exciting topic. It's about the different sources of income. Now the first one most people are familiar with is employment. This one's really simple. You're basically trading your time for money. Now most people will either get paid hourly or salary. And if you're working full-time, that could be anywhere from 40 to even 80 hours a week. Now 40 hours a week may not seem like a long time, but when you look at it on a daily basis, it's just about 8 hours a day. But when you also consider the time it takes for you to get to work, lunch breaks, you could easily be spending 12 hours a day at your job. Now this doesn't leave you much time to do other things and make more money on the side. So I think when most people research different sources of income, what they really want to know is what are some passive ways, low time commitment ways to make extra money on the side. Now some people might recommend getting a part-time job on the weekends or at nights to make the extra money. And while you can make more money this way, it's really not ideal. What you're doing is basically just getting a second job and it's more employment income. So let's talk about the alternatives. The first one is interest income. This is where you lend money to someone else and they pay it back to you after a certain number of months with a little bit of interest on top. So how do you go about earning interest income? Well, one way is you could go to your local bank and ask for a thing called a certificate of deposit or CD. The good thing about a CD is that it's FDIC insured, so your money is guaranteed by the federal government. Whatever money you give to the bank will be returned to you with interest. Now the really lousy part about a CD is the actual interest rate. Just to give you an idea about how low the actual interest rate is, I actually went on a website for a major bank and saw that a 12-month CD up to $10,000 is only yielding 0.02%. And that's really bad. To give you an idea, if you gave the bank $5,000, after a year, they would give you back your $5,000 and $1 extra. So at that low rate, it's really not worth investing money with CDs. So is there a better way? Well, there might be. Although I haven't used it personally, I did read about a website called Lending Club where you could actually lend money to individual people. And the interest rates there go from 5 to 9%. Now, unlike a CD, this isn't guaranteed. So whatever money you do lend, there is a risk that you won't get it back. Now one way to get around this is instead of lending all your money to one person, you can lend in increments of $25. So say you had $5,000 to lend, you could do that with 200 people instead of just a handful. So this way you minimize your risk that all 200 would default on the loan and you would still end up making some money. So let's just conservatively assume a 5% return. Your $5,000 would make you $250. So compared to a CD, this is 250 times better. Another option is rental income. Now this one does require a bit of work up front. You have to spend time finding a good property, settling on a price. You might have to put some work into the property to make it attractive to renters. And after all that, there's still a risk that whoever you end up renting to might not even pay you. Buying real estate also requires a lot of money up front to make that 20% down payment. To give you an idea, a condo in Los Angeles could easily cost $300,000. So that's going to require $60,000 up front for the down payment. Now most people don't have this kind of money just laying around, so it might be a tough place to start investing. Now another source of income, which is my personal favorite, are dividend paying stocks. Now I was surprised to find out that most people don't know what dividend paying stocks are. The way most people understand stocks is you buy it at a certain price and when it goes up in value and you sell it, that's how you make money. Now this first way is what's known as capital gains, but there's actually a second way you can make money off stocks as well, which are dividends. And the way dividends work is typically a company will pay you a fixed amount for every share you own. So let's say you have $5,000 and you want to buy Apple. Let's pretend Apple is trading at $100 a share. So you're able to buy 50 shares of Apple with your $5,000. Now what Apple will do is every 3 months they'll announce their dividend. And let's pretend that they say it's 50 cents a share. So with your 50 shares you'll make $25 every 3 months. Now one thing that's important to remember is that dividends are not guaranteed. Apple could either raise the price per share of their dividends or could stop paying dividends altogether. So it's important to do some research about the company and their dividend payments if that's what you're looking for. Typically a company that consistently pays dividends will want to keep doing that going forward. So how much money can you make off dividends? Well, it varies greatly. There are some companies that might pay 1% a year and other companies that might pay upwards of 10% a year. Keep in mind that the higher the dividend percentage is, the more risky the company might be. And the last source I want to touch upon are royalties. To give you a couple of examples, this might be money you get for a book you wrote or music you created. It does require a lot of time commitment up front, but if you're able to get it done, then this could be a great way to make some extra money. Now one thing to keep in mind with all of these sources is there's really no such thing as 100% passive income. With each of these you really have to put in some time in order to make it happen. Even with picking stocks, you might have to spend some time researching companies in order to pick the right ones. And with lending money through the Lending Club website, you might have to spend some time reading about the background of the people you're lending your money to make sure it's a safe investment. That's going to be it for this video. I hope I inspired some new ideas for you guys to make money outside that 9-to-5 job.